Look out across the sprawling grid of Chicago's South Side, and you'll see a vast stretch of neighborhoods extending miles past the downtown skyline. Zoom in close enough, and the statistics become staggering. Between 2011 and 2014, one specific block in this massive area experienced more violence than anywhere else in the entire United States. Yet, this exact same street produced some wildly different legacies. It happens to be the childhood home of former First Lady Michelle Obama. But it is arguably better known today as the birthplace of drill rap pioneers like Chief Keef. Artists like King Von used their music as unfiltered, frequent logs of the daily realities occurring on that specific block. Those lyrics reflect a very real physical toll. During that peak period of unrest, the Parkway Gardens apartment complex was routinely cordoned off by police tape, marking the aftermath of localized shootings. So, how does one stretch of concrete produce both a globally recognized political figure and a localized war zone? To understand the violence, you have to look at the borders. This maps out the highly desired section of Oblock, specifically Parkway Gardens and King Drive. This territory is controlled entirely by the Black Disciples, but step immediately east and you cross into the strict domain of their rivals, the Gangster Disciples. These aren't sprawling, distant factions. They are forced to live, move, and operate right on top of each other, separated by mere yards of asphalt. That microscopic proximity turns the neighborhood into a pressure cooker, trapping its residents within an incredibly rigid and localized spatial conflict. The current map makes it look like these two groups have always been naturally opposed, but they actually used to be allies. Before the violence peaked, both factions were united as a single organization called the Black Gangster Disciples Nation, or BGDN, which oversaw this entire area together. That unity held until 1989, when the highest levels of the organization's leadership began to fail. Instead of resolving internal disputes, poor management from the top down caused the group's structure to crack under the pressure. That split officially birthed the modern-day Black Disciples and Gangster Disciples, pitting former associates against one another. The intense, localized violence seen around Parkway Gardens today traces directly back to this exact administrative collapse 30 years ago. This line graph charts the local violence over time. It starts right at the 1989 schism and shows a clear, devastating spikes between 2011 and 2014. The fallout from the original fracture compounded over the decades. The young men making headlines for drill music during that peak were born well after the original alliance collapsed. They inherited a landscape that was already permanently fractured. When artists rap about Oblock, they are providing a real-time documentary of a historical war they didn't start. The shootings and casualties on this street are a matured, devastating continuation of a decades-old neighborhood dispute. Oblock demonstrates how a single breakdown in institutional leadership can poison the geography of a community, trapping future generations in a deadly cycle of retaliation.